Okay. He says, please use these if you need. Here's a good layout of the building. There is no basement level and no attic. It is simply just a first and second floor. Though he does have mention of a wine cellar, but that's nothing to it. I believe, as far as Lyle put it, the mission is get in, get out, get money. No, wait, that was mine. Sorry. Get in, figure it out, get out. Something like that.
Okay.
Daniel, roll a d20 for me.
11.
Right. You're really getting a good vibe from this drow guy. He's kind of got a I don't care what anyone cares feel about him. Like, you know, meh.
My type of drow.
Yeah.
Roll with it.
So, with that, you really don't take this guy for too tough of an adventurer. You don't imagine. At least he doesn't show it yet. You think you could take him kind of feel, but you're not about to challenge him. You think maybe through his, well, arrogance, you think he's probably buffing up his stats. It's like he's a lot of talk, you think. Leads you to the richer portion of Stillwater, to which the mansion is right in front of you guys. It is just about dusk. It is getting dark out. You can well see that there are lights lit throughout several of the windows. He leads you to the main steps that lead up to the front door and says, well, at this point, I'm just your bodyguard. He kind of stops at the gates and leans against one of the posts.
Okay.
Give him a minute, he'll become invisible too. Trust me, he did it last time.
Kind of gives you a sour look, Ivor, and says, well, last time you were being graded.
True, but I have no doubt you'll do it again. I think it's one of your favorite tricks.
Well, you're already in the guild. I don't need to grade you for anything. You're not getting paid.
That's true. Well, come on.
If you need me, give me a shout, he says.
Fair enough. Let's just get this over with.
We enter the foyer.
You take up to the first few steps, and you can see that the map shows the foyer has 3 main door entrances that kind of lead to what you imagine would be a very open foyer. Grand columns, so you enter through the doors. None of the doors seem locked. You easily enter straight through. You are in the grand foyer. Very open. Not really any furnishings. Very polished. Does not look like, you know, a tornado has gone through here. It's very clean, very well kept.
Do we hear or see anything?
Both of you roll perception.
8.
9.
Okay. You only hear your own echoing footsteps at the moment. You can see beyond you there are 3 more doors that lead to inward towards the mansion. There are 2 elongated excuse me, benches, seatings on the far sides of the walls to where you're at currently.
Well, I'm looking at this map here, and if people who are having a party disappeared, our best bet was probably to try and go... I'm thinking over towards the tea room.
Oh.
It's called Look at the Map.
I've seen the first word, not the second one.
It's called Read.
We're gonna head towards the main area and then go towards the reading tea room.
You get up to the door, the middle door that leads to further into the main atrium, you see. You try the door seems to be locked. Notice there are doors on the right and left side as well.
You try one, I try the other?
Sure. I try the right one.
The right door is unlocked.
Got one.
Head on in.
As you head on into the main atrium, all the furnishings have been moved to the edge of the room. You would imagine probably so probably for the party that was going on, to make more room for dancing and festivities. The room itself is very large, very open as you would expect, and you look up above and you see it is a very vaulted ceiling, a nice circular ceiling, and at the top is a very elaborate Sunya scripture, a large intertwining symbol of different twists and turns, like a giant, well, just a very elaborate mosaic.
Does it mean anything, or is it just artsy?
You guys don't even have to roll. You believe it's pretty much just art, but go ahead and roll me a d20, both of you, for perception.
16.
13.
Okay, both of you say that you kind of mentioned to yourselves it kind of looks somewhat like an octopus, the way that it's drawn out, but nothing special.
Okay.
Both of you roll. Well, at this point, as you're kind of gawking at the artistry on the ceiling, you hear a noise off in the distance. Something echoes like someone's dropped something.
I got a 17.
9.
Alright. Ivory, you can hear something off towards the east wing, that's off towards the dining hall. You hear a noise.
Investigate.
You haven't even moved from the center of the room, and you kind of peer down that hallway, to which you can faintly see, in the dim lighting, as the only main lighting in this main atrium you see is a giant chandelier above you guys, but the hallways adjacent seem to be dark. In the darkness, excuse me, you can faintly make out a figure, a small figure about waist height.
To me?
Waist height to Daniel, about the dwarf size, but skinnier. But you can't quite make out what it is. It's really only a silhouette.
Hey, you! I shout.
You see this thing look like it reaches for a weapon. Its hand goes behind it or in front of it, you can't tell, and then up towards its head-ish region, and next thing you know, the silhouette is gone. Has vanished.
Keith, I'm not sure what that was, but we might want to have weapons ready because I think it was getting ready to attack us.
How can you tell it's gone now?
It was reaching for something. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Fair enough.
I start heading towards the hallway to explore, to see what it was.
Now the hallway's pretty dark. Do we have any light sources we can grab?
Both of you have enough for a couple of torches each. You know.
Well, I do believe we should at least one of us light one of them so we know where we're going instead of just stumbling around in the dark. I've done that before. It's not fun. I light a torch and hand it to the dwarf.
Why am I the one leading? You're taller. It's not like you can use me as a shield.
No, but you're about their height, so you'd be able to see them before I could.
I don't know if you're being funny or serious. Oh well. I take the torch and go down the hall. Start headed towards the hallway.
You start making your way to about midsection of this main, like the hallway within the hallway, just before the star section of the east hallway. Yeah, that little star symbol is where you believe you saw that figure. You make it just to the edge of that room, towards the main atrium. You make it just to the edge of the star room, and there's nothing. There's no light source, but there's a door straight ahead, which you believe leads into the dining hall, and a door to your right and a door to your left. There does seem to be 4 chests in the corner of this room. Large, like, yieldy treasure chest styled chests sitting in the corners of these rooms.
Are they locked?
There does not seem to be any sort of large padlock on them, but they do seem to be latched, just like a simple hook latch to prevent it from spilling open.
I start raiding one.
Which one would you like to pick?
The first one?
10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or 8 o'clock?
2 o'clock, it's closer to me.
2 o'clock. You instantly go over to this chest, and it appears to need a key.
I can't just ram a knife in it and pry it open, can I?
You can try.
What kind of lock is it?
It seems to be a normal key lock, like it would just need a normal trunk lock key. Does not seem to be anything specific that you can make out.
Can I break it open?
You can certainly try. You guys can do whatever you like.
Don't do that. I think I have some random junk that I can use.
Go for it. What do you got?
I got like a couple iron sticks.
You want to pick lock?
Try and pick it.
Okay. Do you want to contest me?
Sure.
All right, contest. D20.
20.
I got a 5. All right, this lock breaks easily. You didn't even have to pick lock. As soon as you twisted these these steel rods, this lock just snapped. Like these chests have been sitting here for ages. You open the chest, and unfortunately, there's nothing in it. It is empty as can be.
That's just a tease. Why lock something if you're not going to have anything in it? Is there like a false bottom or anything?
You give it a once over. There does not appear to be anything else to it. It's empty as can be. No crumbs, no, evidence of anything that might have been in it.
Arrgh.
I'll try and get the one that's at 8 o'clock.
All right, you go over to that one. The same kind of deal. It looks like it would need a key.
Hey, Skate, you mind trying this one for me?
Lazy?
I don't have anything to do it.
You wanted to smash mine, but when it comes to yours, no.
Fine, I'll just smash mine. I get out my pick wall. I want to try and smash it.
Just roll damage. D6.
Yep.
A rat crawled across the floor.
3.
3. Good enough. You try to smash the entire chest, or like break the lock off?
Break the lock off.
Oh, this thing crumbles. You can tell these chests are probably older than you guys think they are. The chest opens, and there is a small little, well, a good sizable pouch of something. About the size of, a good 2 handfuls. Like a
Pick it
side
up and
pouch.
investigate.
Inside the
Of
pouch
course, you
is
got something.
a good amount of gold pieces.
Sweet.
Small fortune.
Now, if you would have actually helped me pick the lock, I would be willing to share, but you didn't, so I'm not.
I do something fancy like pick a lock with extreme adept skill, and you just smash the lock and you actually get something. That is totally not fair.
Luck of the dwarves.
This is why I dislike short people.
There are 2 more chests in the room.
I head for the one at 4.
Alright. What would you like to do?
Want me to smash that one?
I examine the lock myself first, see if it's old.
This lock is as old as the others.
Then I just take a knife and try and jam it.
You easily break this lock open.
Anything in it?
Another large satchel of gold.
There we go, that's more like it.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and get the last one.
Alright, what
So
are you getting?
force works. If you try and be fancy, you're not going to get anything done.
What do you try to do to this one?
I'm just gonna smash the lock off like I did the other one.
Roll a d20.
7.
Ooh, I rolled a crit. Both of you roll initiative. Dun dun dun.
It was a...
Really? I rolled a 19 and then you're fucking hit me!
Well, I rolled an 18, so I feel better.
I'll give you 19.
Thank you.
Skaith is correct. This chest recoils like jelly as you try to smash this lock in. This chest opens up and it is now a gnashing maw of teeth. You have found yourselves a mimic.
I hate mimics.
This chest will try to jump at you and grab your weapon, or if anything, try to chomp your arm off. Unfortunately, it rolled a crit as this thing had just been smacked in the face.
I
Smash it!
I'll try and smash it again.
I throw my torch at it to blind it.
I'm gonna use the axe side and try and chop it up.
Alright, your torch rolls across the floor.
You idiot!
Roll a d20.
16.
Good enough. And damage?
Damage?
1.
1. You knocked this thing to the side, but you didn't get a direct enough hit to get a good chunk into it. You've knocked it to the side. This thing will now see Skaith, and will go for Skaith. With a measly 8. It jumps at you, you jump out of the way.
I use my short sword and try and cleave it in 2.
You want to cleave this thing, alright?
6.
6, good enough. How did you want to cleave it, vertically or horizontally?
Vertically.
Vertically.
Straight down the middle, less chance of missing.
Alright, damage?
6.
You get a good solid chunk into the top of this chest here. Your sword is embedded once more. It is now jammed into this wood. Needless to say that this thing, your sword is now stuck in this. You are still hanging on. But you believe you can either force your sword completely to the top of this lid, or you believe you could probably pick this thing up and smash it with enough leverage. Roll for leverage.
14.
Alright. This thing kind of throws your balance off a little bit as you do flail, as this thing is trying to bite you. You manage to pick this thing up and smash it. What do you want to smash it against?
The floor.
The floor. You smash it just on the good corner. The lid rips right off, and this thing falls limp as you pry the lid from your sword.
Woo! At least it wasn't a bat. Bats are the bane of my existence.
Alright, shall we move on now?
Well, did it have anything, or was it just a creature? Sometimes they eat things. So did it have anything?
Well, fine. You check the body, and there's nothing to it. It seems to be just a mimic.
Ah, waste of time. Fine. We move on.
Where do you move on to?
It's a dining
Well,
hall.
since there is nothing else in this room,
There's a door to your east, north, and your south. Sorry,
That's
your west,
east.
north, and your south.
oh, to the west.
You enter into a dining hall. There's a very long, elaborate table set for many people. There are 4 luxurious, large windows with fine draperies, very fancily plated. All the places at the tables are set, but it does not look like, there's dinner. There's dinner about to be served, but all the places are set. And roll perception.
19.
Okay.
7.
Daniel, you hear something, some clattering in the kitchen. Ivory hears something off towards the south, like in the corner of the room. So, rattling like a spoon was dropped.
I'm gonna head towards what I heard.
I follow her.
Daniel, roll me another d20.
4.
Alright. 4. You did not hear anything that she heard. You particularly heard a mess in the kitchen. Ivory starts working her way down towards the end of the table.
Well, if I think she's just heading down that way, I'm gonna go to the kitchen.
Both of you roll another perception for me.
10.
16.
Alright. Ivory, as you around the end of the table, you do see a spoon that has been knocked to the floor. It doesn't look like it would have just fallen, as all the placements on the tables are pretty particular. Looks like maybe it would have been pushed or have to have been at least set on the edge of the table to fall where it has landed. You don't see any natural cause for this spoon to have fallen off the table. Skaith, as you make your way towards the kitchen, there, you see there's a single door leading on the side. There is it sounds like someone's throwing a soup pot around. Someone's tossing pans. Someone's making a mess. At least what it sounds like.
Just to be safe, I ready my disintegrating obsidian dagger and chain.
Okay, you have your hands at the ready.
I'm gonna poke around where the spoon fell.
Alright, do you pick up the spoon, or are you just examining, like, the table?
I'm just trying to figure out why it fell.
Alright, you give this table a good once-over, and you kind of, like, go between the top of the table and the bottom of the table looking for maybe magnets or something that maybe would have enticed this spoon to fall. After about 3 times of going up between the top of the table and the bottom of the table, you now realize something's wrong. That fork has moved, or that knife used to be on this side of the plate. You kind of shrug it off as your mind playing tricks on you, as you kind of give everything a once-over, and then you start testing yourself, kind of peeking under the table real quick to see if anything moves. And sure enough, it does seem like, centimeter by centimeter, things are kind of gliding about the table, but not enough to, you know, actually take too much of a notice.
Which direction are they headed?
They're kind of not orderly. Like, they move to the left, and then you look back, they move to the right, and then they move back to their original place. But all within centimeters. Nothing like anyone could have taken notice from at least a couple seats down kind of deal. Like, you're right on this to notice.
How close am I to the kitchen door now?
It's still Ivory's turn at the moment. Anything else you want to do?
Going to get really confused and then give up and decide to go head over to where Skaith is.
Okay, you kind of shrug it off. Do you leave the spoon on the floor?
I'll pick it up.
Alright, you pick up the spoon, give it a once-over. It's a normal spoon. What do you do with the spoon? Do you take it with you? Do you pocket it? Do you put it on the table?
Is it real silver?
It's an actual silver spoon.
Okay, I'll keep it.
You pocket it with your large bag of gold.
Yes.
Skaith, there is a calamity going on in the kitchen. You are at the kitchen door.
I want to try and just ease the door open really quietly so not to disturb anything.
You want to peek in?
Yep, peek in.
Okay. You peek in, and there is a maelstrom of kitchen utensils and pots and pans just whirling around this kitchen with no noticeable auras or anything. It's just like an invisible wind just throwing pots and pans around. Some of these are being drummed on like a kid with a drum set kind of deal, but it's all just like possessed kitchenware.
They're not going to start singing, are they?
Don't believe cutlery is able to sing.
Excellent. I just closed the door like nothing to see here.
As soon as you close the door, a large pot slams the door behind you. Like was thrown at the door.
Were they able to close the door in time, or?
Oh yeah, you closed it, but as soon as it closed, a large pot rocketed at the door.
It's like, okay, things are getting really weird here. Was I able to notice anything about the area?
It just seemed the kitchen was a mess, like something's throwing the kitchen into a tornado of just a mess. Ivory, you start making your way back towards the kitchen, and you hear the commotion as well.
I asked him what was going on because I seen him peek in.
Let's just say that the kitchen is quite lively.
Out of curiosity, I'm gonna try and poke my head in and see what's going on.
Alright, as you get to the door, if you have passed Skaith, you hear a little bit of muffled laughing, as well as the calamity of the kitchen of pots and pans.
I go in to investigate and see what's going on.
You just want to walk straight in?
No, I'm gonna open the door and peek in.
Peek
See
in.
what's going on.
You can see there's still a calamity of pots and pans being drummed on, but it seems to have settled down since you've come over to the door, and you do hear muffled laughing, like